Hey there, Geminis. This is your December 2020 Taroscope, intuitive kind of horoscope we got going on. So let's jump straight to the reading, shall we? Gemini. Ooh, Gemini, you're getting over some heartache. You're getting over some heartbreak. Ooh, we got the Hierophant upright. So for those of you, Geminis, for those of you who this is like, excuse me, for those of you who are in the love life area of your life, let the past be the past. You got the Hierophant upright. New love will come in for you, okay? Um, but Geminis, no matter where you're at, it looks like you got the Three of Swords reversed. So you're kind of at the tail end of getting over something that was painful. It might be love, it might be work. It's going to be different for everyone because I'm getting work cards, family cards, and love. So there's something that did happen in your past that was kind of brutal, hurt you to the core. It was one of those types of situations where you went in gung ho, you went in with like big expectations, and you went in with like a vision. And it looks like the lesson that you learned was that the other person, whether it was a lover, family, friend, or like a work environment, they didn't have the same expectations as you. Kind of like when you start a new job and they write in the I haven't worked in the corporate world in forever. I forgot what those are called. Offer letters. When they write in the offer letter, your base compensation will be reviewed in a year, but there was no details on potentially how much or any of that. You went all out. You're like, all right, they said they're going to give me a pay raise in a year, so I'm going to go all out. I'm going to give them my all, and I'm gonna achieve so much for them. So at the end of the year, they're going to give me a really big pay raise, and you gave it your all. You worked a lot of like unpaid overtime because you were just showing your love for the company, right? And then comes around the end of the year, and they're like, hey, it's not in our budget. So you went through something like that where you went into something with expectations. The other person did not have the same expectations as you. And you're wrapping up your healing from that. So know that you're kind of at the end of that letdown. It is not appropriate to take action to fit that situation. You got the Knight of Swords reversed. Don't try to fix it. Don't try to go back and see, well, what if? Maybe they've changed their mind. Just let that door be closed. Okay, guys? Because with the Knight of Swords reversed, if you were to go back to, hey, maybe they do want to be exclusive with me now, or hey, maybe they will let me work from home now, whatever it is, it's the Knight of Swords reversed, so the communication is, it's not going to be loving. It's going to, maybe one side will be manipulative, maybe one side will be cutting and harsh with their words, with like, hey, you know what, you weren't actually that good of an employee, like, you may have thought you were doing a lot, but none of it really impacted the bottom line of the company. Like, it's just, you're just going to be hurtful words, guys. Okay? Instead, let that just be at the, that is winding down. I'm finishing up the grieving process for that. Because then you've got the Three of Pentacles upright. It's not the ace, it's not the two, it's the three, right? So 3 out of 10. The journey is 3/10 of the way done. If you'd open yourself up to the new, look, you got the Hierophant upright right afterwards, which means it can mean love, it can mean the one, but it also means whatever next endeavor you focus on, you're going to be more clear about your expectations. Hey, this is what I can give, this is what I can't. Does that match for you? And it looks like whoever you're going to meet next, again, whether it's love or work, they're also going to be at a chur. They're also going to be at a mature stage of life. So they'll be able to say, hey, that does work for me. Hey, that doesn't work for me. Oh, that works for me, but here's what I'll also need. Is that something you can do? Is that the conversation is just going to be, you guys are both going to be focused on making sure your expectations match. And the King of Swords reversed at the end, so that's really indicating that like conversations and interactions with people and all types of people, work, where it's good. It looks like it kind of, work, man, is a big one for you. Work, love, family, friends. It's going to take on more of a, instead of feeling like a fight for, I need to make sure my need is met, or instead of viewing it as they're taken away from me, it's like, it's going to start being more of a, let's make sure this is mutually beneficial. But Geminis, you like, don't go back to that past situation. It's just going to be hurtful words. Oh, you thought you were a good girlfriend? No, you weren't. You like, it's just not going to be good. If you'd instead just recognize That was an experience where I gave more than I received. That was an experience where I built an expectation in my head and I feel the disappointment for my expectation not being met. I'm now calling in new. It's worth it. The expectations are going to be aligned. The conversation's going to be beautiful and amazing. Yeah, so you're kind of, let me get more clarifying cards. Spirit team, okay, yeah. Yeah, I was clarifying the King of Swords. You got the Queen of Wands upright, followed by the Eight of Wands reversed. So and Queen of Wands, like that's a more, so you're moving away from people who are potentially toxic. You're also just moving away from people who are unclear in their communication. You're moving away from people who are willing to lie, right? Because I remember sometimes, like, there were employers who would, yeah, that's what we need to have an employee. You sound perfect. They'd hire me. The third day in, they're like, well, we actually need you to work from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. I was like, I told you my biggest thing I wanted was work-life balance, which meant 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. at the latest. What is this extra 3 hours? And they were like, right, well, that's what we need, right? So they're willing to just kind of say what they need to be said to get you in the door, and then they change their mind. You're leaving that stage of your life. Because the wand suit, the Queen of Wands, is where it is a little bit more mature. It's not the Queen of Cups, so it's not ultra loving, but it's the wand suit, so it's passion, engagement. It's, hey, this is my need. This is my expectation. I want to make sure that works for you before I bring you on board. What do you need? Let me make sure I can meet your need, okay? Because it's no longer going to feel like a fight or a struggle. But you absolutely, Gemini, have to stop making the past work and be willing to go forward to the new. Spend time on whatever that new is for you, on what are your needs out of it. Do you need to leave at a certain time to pick up kids from school? Do you need to be able to take an hour and a half lunch instead of an hour? Like, hey, guys, I want to work for you. I can do all of that, but I need an hour and a half lunch for XYZ reason. But I can make up that 30 minutes at home later in the day, or I can make it up and just stay later. You're going to start getting a little bit like of an awakening of what your needs actually are, and then being willing to communicate that, knowing that you're not in a desperate situation, knowing that there is a place of employment, a lover, a friend who wants that too. You no longer have to sneak or say whatever it is you need to say to get your needs met. It's knowing that there's someone else who, because there might be an employer out there who, you want an hour and a half lunch, but you'll check in in the evening, you'll go home, you'll do your dinner thing with your family, but then you'll check emails. Because there might be an employer who's, God, if they're, I have a client in this different time zone, if one of my employees could just check in to make sure they didn't have any questions. Yeah, if you'll check in for me once in the evening and work no more than the 30 minutes, yeah, I'll let you take an hour and a half lunch, no problem. It's trusting and knowing that there's someone out there who also wants what you can give, okay? So you're going through that. That's a good one, Gemini. Comment below. Let me know. What is it that y'all are manifesting? Is it love? Is it a better family work dynamic? Is it a work dynamic? Let me know. I'm curious. Because I could, of course, help out more if you guys comment below. If you got any questions for how to handle a particular situation, I can make another YouTube video for you. Okay, is there anything else that Gemini needs to hear? Yes, pull 4 more cards. Okay. All right. Clearly, some of you did not hear the message that I already said, because you got the Judgment reversed, which means do not give it a second chance. Do not give it a second chance, Gemini. No second chances. It's not King of Pentacles reverse following that. It's not going to work out. It's kind of like, it's almost as if you're feeling a little stagnant. And I get it, guys. Sometimes when you're at a job, you've been there for a while, and it's crushing. It didn't meet your expectations. They didn't give you the holiday bonus you thought you would get. They didn't give you the promotion that you thought you'd get. Whatever your expectation was that got let down. It's kind of like that, the psychology of gamblers. They think that every time they put a quarter in, their chances for winning goes up. That's not the case. Every time you put a quarter in, the odds are exactly the same. And the odds are in the favor of the casino, not you. But they just get stuck there and they go, no, it's got to pay out at some point, okay? Like, so it's just a psychology thing of humans. We think that when we invest in it, the more we invest in it, the more it's likely to pay out. But sometimes, guys, it's a losing investment, right? Like, you're paying for your kids' college, but they keep flunking out. Are you going to learn after the first semester, the second semester, the third semester, 5 of them, and now you're paying for 5 semesters where they flunked out? Oh, but now they're going to get their act together. No, you're just pulling out more loans in your name. Let them get their act together first, and then support them when they go back. That's all this is asking you for. Let the other person get their act together and have the offer that you want. But given that the read's been very clear about no second chances, especially you got the High Priestess right after this, it's really about going towards the new for you, Gemini, and it's just getting crystal clear. It's not going to work out. If you give it a second chance, it's going to be the King of Pentacles reversed. So it's not, don't go in there with, let me go another year. Maybe the company just needs to see that I am a good worker, or maybe next year they'll have the budget for this. Like, no, you're just going to burn, King of Pentacles reversed, you're just going to burn yourself out. Once you do let go of that, so here that they wanted to repeat that message to you guys, once you do let go of that, then you got the High Priestess upright. It does kind of mean, Gemini, that it's not about tapping in to your emotions. How do I feel? I feel sad, I feel angry. It's more about, how do I want to feel at my next place of employment? And it's trusting your intuition a little bit more. Like, what are they saying? But what emotional reaction are you having to that? Right? When I took the job I told you about earlier, I knew I was like, something's fishy about this. It seems too agreeable. 3 days in, they changed it, right? Had I listened to my intuition, I wouldn't have turned down that other job offer I had. And then I had to start back at ground zero, right? So you're really going to start paying attention to what do people say versus what is your intuition telling you. He's saying he wants a girlfriend. Here, let me give you an example. One of my clients recently, she was chatting with a guy. He lived somewhat long distance. They matched on one of those dating websites, and he was saying like, no, I want a girlfriend, but hey, I'm going home for the holidays in another country, so let's definitely stay connected. When I get back in, I'll fly you out or I'll fly to you. But then like when he was gone for the month, it was, did he call you? Right? Because calling you is actually the action that someone who wants to get to know you will take. Well, no, he just texts a little bit. It's like, right? So your intuition, even though his words were saying, I want to date you, I could see this going further, and it was like all sweet and cute, it's like he was gone for 4 weeks and didn't call you once. His action was indicating that he's just keeping you interested enough to fly you out for some booty. Okay? So you're really going to start paying attention more to what are they saying versus what do you feel. And you're no longer going to take people at like the words that they say. It's kind of like you're going to want to like see it in action, right? You're going to be like, okay, so that's what you want. One thing I had one of my clients do, because culture was such a big deal for her, it was, well, ask the employer. It was a smaller company, so it was possible. I know at bigger companies like Microsoft, this might not be possible. But it was a smaller company. It was, why don't you just go work for them a practice day? Do it Saturday or Sunday. See if they were a startup, so they, startup founders tend to work on the weekend. It was, why don't you just ask them like, hey, what can we work a Saturday or a Sunday? See how it goes. She ended up going like, oh my God, they actually were really nice. They were this, they were that. She took it. She loved the job. You can start asking for those kind of things for yourself to make sure that you're getting involved with people who say what they mean. So you got the moon reversed after the High Priestess upright. So it's kind of like you don't need to be involved with people, work environments where they'll say one thing but then do another, and then you come back with good intentions to, hey, I'm a little confused. You said this, but this is what happened. Can you clarify for me? Is the job actually going to go back to 9 to 6, or is it, yeah, next week we can go back to 9 to 6, but the next week comes, they're like, we really need you in at 6 a.m., right? it's kind of like, I don't want to say you're giving people too many chances, Gemini, but it's as if you've learned the lesson of clear communication, and now you're willing to ask those questions afterwards, like, hey, you said this, but this happened. Can we talk about it? Okay, well, let me restate to you what my need is. But then they go and do the thing that you don't want done anyway. So you're not actually confused. What you're doing is you're interacting with people who are unwilling to be clear in their communication. And it's not necessarily that they're narcissists or sneaky or toxic. Whatever reason, they don't feel comfortable speaking directly. You are moving in a direction, Gemini, of speaking directly. And use your intuition to filter out the people who aren't. Or use your intuition that when the first red flag shows up, maybe not red flag, but when the first kind of, hey, you said this, but you did this, leave. Don't spend a year there, right? Because you don't want to feel that heartbreak again. All right, Spirit guides are saying you need 3 more cards. Yeah, okay, guys, they're just giving you like a little bit of sneak peek if you go ahead and take this like kind of next step in your life. 5 of Pentacles reversed, Page of Cups upright, Queen of Swords reversed. Conversations are going to start feeling more nourishing to you. Page of Cups upright. It's cup suit is like the nourishing, the love. So it'll start to feel more loving. It will start, and by that I don't mean I love you, you're so beautiful. I mean it's the other person will take your needs seriously and treat it as equal to or almost as equal to their own need. So like a love relationship would be like, okay, babe, you got to do X, Y, Z. Well, hey, I got to do A, B, C. Do you want me to drop that off for you on my way? As they're planning and thinking about their typical day, they'll start to also plan and think about your typical day in it. So if you're willing to, okay. Because sometimes what happens when you guys go through personal growth, when you learn a lesson, and people who are people pleasers, codependents, one of their first lessons is being able to tap into how do they actually feel, what do they actually want and need, and then being willing to communicate it. Because codependents, people pleasers tend not to communicate it. So it's kind of like once you learn that lesson, then you're like, oh, I learned my lesson. Life's great now. So then you go, hey, I just wanted to tell you that this is what I was actually expecting. Hey, I just wanted to tell you that this is what my actual need is, right? You can get stuck in the cycle of I learned this lesson and stay there. The next lesson to learn after that is ensuring that you're interacting with people who also want what you want. No dating people who are, I almost feel like I commit and be in a relationship. Back off and go, okay, if you just want to be friends, then we could just be friends. To me, friendship is this and this and this. You don't have to be as like, as I gave you this example, but it could be, okay, if you're not ready to be in a relationship, that's fine. I know for me, sex is something that's a committed relationship. Right? So you pull back your investment, not the, oh, he just wants another month or two. Oh, he just wants to he wants to see that he can be himself and with me. So you go in with the expectations that in a month or two, or after he goes on that trip to Australia, when he comes back, we'll be in a relationship. And then for him to come back and still be the same, that's you getting involved with someone who doesn't want what you want. Instead of just recognizing, hey, this is a no. Let me be open to the new. Once you do that, your relationships, whether again work or romantic or friends, it's not going to feel so lack. It's not going to feel so begging, pleading. It's not going to feel so like I need them to see my need. I need them to take this action for me to feel good. No, you need to start moving towards people who actually want what you want. Then it's going to feel more nourishment. It's going to feel more like people who, hey, I know you said you had to go to the store. I'm actually going to the store. You want me to pick you up something? I can just drop it outside your door. And it's not going to feel, if you're willing to take the leap to start saying no to some interactions and people and opportunities and only say yes to your yeses, no yeses to your maybes, no yeses to your almost, or yeses to nos, but only yes to yeses, it's not going to feel like you're fighting for your need to get met. It's not going to feel like you're fighting to be heard. Okay, one more. Yeah. You're not going to feel as taken advantage of, double reversed. If you're willing to do that, you're not going to feel taken advantage of anymore. All right, Gemini, if you liked that reading, give me a thumbs up, subscribe, share this with your Gemini friends, give me a comment below. I love comments. I come back in later and interact with you guys. And if that is actively something that you would like some support with and you'd like to be in a live mastermind call with me and a couple other of your colleagues also going through some high vibe growth, you want to be able to like tap in and know who you are to the core of your being. You want to be able to say no to others without feeling any guilt. You want to be able to go after what brings you joy without feeling any guilt, knowing that others will figure out their stuff on their own. I have just the mastermind for you. Go to kellylunt.com/mastermind. Fill out a couple questions for me. You'll be able to schedule a call directly for us to get on a phone call to talk about your needs, make sure the mastermind's right for you. If it is, I'll tell you your options to sign up. If it isn't, I'll hopefully have a resource that I could send your way, whether it's a book, another coach, or something to help you on your life journey on Earth. And I always get asked, what tarot deck did I use? So this tarot deck, it has beautiful imagery, guys. I love this deck so much. This is the deck, Revelations Tarot, and I'll put a link for it in the comments for you guys if you want to snag this to play on your own. But I love you guys. Bye.